Yeah, that's why, yeah, I saw the name tag, and it was like, okay. We finally get to meet it.
Well, let's see. That's why we're still getting off the phone too much.
I'll let you get set up and do your thing.
I was running late anyway, and then there's about 10 of us that all came in all at the same time, and it took a while to get through the front desk.
Yeah.
So the password stuff. So.
Okay.
Huge thing, they're betting them that they don't.
You're able to change the agenda, put the link on there.
Great.
You wanna go in reverse? They had shot, we're almost. I really think we'll have that space. I use so much. Fingers crossed. Our teachers can't. We don't have to do that. I really got space for people. But we need to.
Okay.
Talk to people and, we actually have president-elect and the treasurer. So we're not announcing it today,
Right.
but we'll say we'll have this slate in a couple of weeks and then we'll let you send it out or the committee can say whatever. But,
Applications
are actually, Georgia.
So I'd really like to really briefly just who you are, where you're working at, and what your title or what you do there. I'm Scott Young. I'm president of Maze Tech this year. I work at North Point, and I'm the director of technology there. We'll start out with Todd.
Okay, Todd Cowden, this is my third year at Lausanne. You should hear this in just a second, but third year at Lausanne, and I'm a digital design teacher, so I teach all things pixels.
Great. I'm Jordan Park. I'm the Director of Technology here at St. Mary's.
Awesome, I'm Wendy Williams, I'm the Director of Instructional Technology and Accreditation at Mark.
And I'm Scott Holcomb. I'm just a nerdy teacher at Cromwell High School. Sometimes I'm Director of Technology. Sometimes I'm Principal.
What's your real title? We love it, real titles. Tell us your real title.
We love your title.
EdTech Imagineers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Love that title. Hi, I'm James. It's my first year here at Maze Tech. I work at PDS. I'm just excited to be here.
Chris Langston, Network Admin at PDS.
Cindy Brock, Director of Technology at ECS. Hi, Lindsay, Technology Coordinator at ECS.
I'm Nick Pennington. I'm the IT internship at St. Francis of Assisi.
Cool.
Oh, is it me?
Yeah.
Sorry. I was going back that way. I'm Whitney Miller, I'm the Director of Academic Technology at Hutchinson.
Lena Collins, I am the technology instructor at Sacred Heart School, and I'm also the treasurer.
John Singme, I'm the Director of Technology in US.
Drew Highnote at MUS, my first year there. I was at Woodland where I got to teach James, actually. Teach 7th grade coding, 10th grade computer apps, help with some IT stuff and anything John tells me to do.
Jeremy Gilbrecht, I work here at St. Mary's. I'm the database and student information manager.
Jessica Lancaster, I do technology and I'm Director of Curriculum for the North Campus here, so that's 2-year-olds through 5th grade.
Kathy Peterman, I'm the technology director at Marcus Henry Christian School.
Torrance Myers, technology director at Russell Christian, and I'll just say that not only am I the director, I'm the department.
I'm Alicia, and I'm the tech support here at St. Mary's.
I'm Corey Phillips. I'm at MUS, IT support and data, and I'm also a treasurer at Maze Tech. Not treasurer, secretary. Sorry, wrong word.
Well, great. I want to get moving because we got a lot to do today. So we just have the officers there selected. And by the way, we are getting ready. The nominating committee is meeting and talking about the officers for next year. So that'll be coming up, and we'll approve us. Can we approve the slate next week or next time? Can we bring the slate and approve it?
I think we just submit it.
Submit.
Isn't that right?
That's right.
You have to say it is now, and then the next time we vote.
Yeah, we don't know who it is now.
Oh, okay.
Well, you can send it out.
We just,
Yeah.
yeah, as long as it's
Yeah, yeah,
out
yeah.
in advance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do that in the next week. or
We're
two.
close.
Yeah, we're very close. We might just say now, if we could find somebody who might be interested in running for secretary. Any takers? Well, we'll take.
Make sure you check in the spreadsheet, click on the link, and just record that you were here today. I'm pretty sure.
You send the spreadsheet out, Scott?
Pardon?
You send the spreadsheet out? Okay.
I'll get it, don't worry about it.
All right.
Links on the agenda.
I sent the agenda out.
At the bottom of the page of the agenda.
Lena, are you currently updating, or is that done?
It's done.
Okay. Go ahead.
Previous balance was $1,848.09. We had $270 in deposits, which leaves us with a balance right now of $2,118.09. If you look, we've had since the last meeting, we had 8 people who paid their dues, so we're up to 20 schools.
This meeting alone is worth $30 today, so. Again, I mentioned the nominating committee, and these are the people that are in charge of finding that. We have communications, Lynn and Lena. We have a long one now. Lynn, anything to report? What's going on? We ever get that website finalized? And
Yeah, I haven't done it yet, but because I had to wait until after, I had to wait 8 weeks. And it hadn't been 8 weeks until the middle of January.
Okay, that's our own website. We're talking about maztech.org. And
We'll be separating, right now it's under CDHS. And so we're gonna completely get it out from under CDHS and get it under our other account. And that way, and then we're gonna go ahead and pay. Do you have the amount that it is? I don't remember how much it was that I sent you. It's not cheap, but it's like
yeah, that's right.
$700 and something dollars for the next 5 years. And that's for everything, for the website, for the domain, for all of that, so.
Yes, we have the money, I think, so we're good to
And we did the exact same thing 5 years ago, and we paid for 5 years, and it's just.
Does that require a motion and a vote, or?
I don't know, does it? I'm not really sure.
How much was it? How much was it again?
Yeah.
Well, when we get it finalized, we'll get that done.
Domain for an additional 4 years was $151.96, and the certificate for 5 years is $727.48.
And it just kind of came up because we actually missed the certification, so we kind of had to scramble to get covered back again because it was going to CGHS and they weren't really monitoring it. But
And I did send it to several IT people who do this, and they all said that that amount seems reasonable for, what we're doing.
do we have a motion to go ahead and prove that? Can we do that?
I'll move.
Okay.
We spend that money to, we spend whatever the total is, somebody can fill that in, to convert and change the domain and the security certificates from CBHS to, who's it changing to?
It's
Under your name or?
It's gonna be under my email
But not
address,
Briarcrest.
but not Briarcrest.
Okay.
It's gonna be under Maztech.
Okay, to change it from CBHS to the Maze Tech email address.
Right.
Good.
Okay, that total is $879.44.
Second? Lynn seconds, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? Okay, that one passes, we're good. Thank you for getting that done. Lynn, let me know what you need from me, okay?
Okay.
One of our favorite things, social committee, Whitney and John, we all set?
We're all set for April 25th,
Okay,
a Thursday.
Las Delicias.
Porch.
Quince.
yeah, and
If you've never been.
I was just gonna say the same thing, if you haven't been,
It's just
come, it's a lot of fun, you don't have to stay all night, you can stay all night.
Good food, good beverages. What's that date again? 25th of April.
Thursday.
I think I'm alone on the professional development. I did have one thing working, but then, just to be honest, my life went crazy, so I really haven't done anything since. So that's just where it's at.
Maybe we should put a notation on April 25th that you should bring your backpack with your laptop into the facility and not leave it in your car.
Oh,
A
okay.
school here had a teacher stolen and.
Yeah.
Teachers, wow.
Okay, I was so confused.
Just one. Okay, we're at our February 2nd meeting. We still have, the April 5th meeting, and MUS has offered to host. I appreciate that very much. So we'll be going there. Quickly on the conferences, I think we already talked about St. George. Did anybody go to TETC?
Yes, it's very good.
Very good?
Yeah, it was good this year. And that's the last year in Murfreesboro. It is moving to Chattanooga next year. They've got a nice deal with their convention center. They've outgrown Murfreesboro. that facility you can only hold 1,000 people in
Right.
this week. So they're moving it to Chattanooga Convention Center and to have a 2 or 3 year contract there. So it's a little further, but it'll be more spread out.
Yeah.
They can have a real exhibit hall instead of having vendors in the hallway, which is what they've had the last few years. And anyway, I think it'll be better. I don't know those dates yet, but I'll get them and put them in there in just a minute.
They have any AI stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, it's everywhere. It's
all
crazy.
AI all the time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep, and automate.
So these are some of the other links. I'm just gonna let you guys look at your
I went to FETC last week.
FETC.
And it was great. It's good. It's like ISTE, but smaller, more manageable. You know, a lot of it, some good, I mean, Leslie Fisher was there. They were very nice. Like they had a happy hour in the exhibit hall one day and they give you lunch a coupon to go to the food court one day. And it was small. I mean, it was not small, but it was manageable.
There's a recap on the 14th.
I just registered for that yesterday. Of what the big thing was AI, of course, automation. They had a startup section that was like great. It was some people we used for some different things. So highly recommend it. Good time of year to go when it's 83.
And it's in Orlando.
And it's in Orlando.
And you know it's in Orlando.
Plus they have the PGA conference. I mean,
Well, let's do that.
they're moving this back a week next year.
FETC? Is it gonna be in Orlando or?
Yeah, no, they're moving it.
Because it was in New Orleans one year.
Yes, they're moving it. I mean, they're moving the date probably to that.
Yeah.
Well, I think I got something from Atlas too coming up in April in Reno. But that one's like all AI, I think. It's like that's their whole focus is everything on AI and you get to go to Reno. So I don't know. I don't think I can talk anybody into go.
I like really that one.
I was gonna go this year, but I don't know.
It may have been for.
My heart
It
wasn't
was
in
a
it, so.
long time. It was
Well, I
over.
when we went last
6
year,
years.
they said it just wasn't that good.
It's big pictures. It's not,
Yes.
you're
it's
not gonna go to learn like new
Ideas,
tech. Yeah.
right.
It's
Definitely.
policy, ideas,
Uh-huh.
it's that. But people who've been say they liked it. Now, I didn't hear about it last year, but.
Yep.
I don't know.
Justin always really enjoyed
He loved it.
but he's also a policy big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And didn't y'all send several, Cindy, that year over?
Melissa, Kathy, and I.
Yeah. They're the only people I've ever known spend.
And then ISTE in June is in Denver coming up. John always likes to plug the listserv and what's the other one, John? Atlas, the one I just talked about, Atlas server.
Y'all, I'm telling you again, I plug it every time. If you're not on that Atlas listserv, you are missing out because it is just, it's great.
You can
It's great.
also search it.
Yes,
There's a search
from other
feature.
past
Yeah,
posts.
so if you're dealing with something, it's good to just check there first.
Yeah, it's great.
Anything else anybody wants to cover or have a question before we get started with our presentation? Good, let's get started, because this is what we're talking about and everybody's talking about, it seems. Every other email now is on AI something.
Need 1 second. Plug it
Yeah,
in.
you get ready.
You wanna just swap, he's got an AC.
Oh, you know what? I'll just swap it. Yeah. That's totally fine. And quicker.
While he's setting up, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about Todd. You already learned that he's at Lausanne, so he's actually one of us. So that is even cooler, I think. Some of it I would included here. He's an expert in technology and creatively built on over 25 years. He's worked for places such as Universal Pictures, Lucasfilms, Lego, and National Geographic. He's worked in traditional advertising, web design, interactive design, and has over 10 years experience in the game industry. He's been creating art and music with generative AI since 2015. For the past decade, Todd has taught various design courses to high school students, including graphic design, digital illustration, digital film, video production, and game design. In the last several years, he has taught classes in virtual reality to a worldwide audience of students on topics about creativity, building in VR, and artificial intelligence. So I think we're honored to have him today to speak to us, and this is going to be kind of open, I think. If you have a question, you can probably raise your hand, but we'll certainly have questions at the end.
Absolutely.
Let's welcome Todd. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now I can skip the about me slide, so that's good. Right? So yeah, today we're talking about AI. And I didn't have a specific conversation, a specific topic to go off of. So this is sort of high level. And as Scott mentioned, if you have any questions, you can raise your hand. We have a QA session at the end where you can ask more detailed questions. I'm literally going to skip this slide because he just said everything. The main thing is that sort of my career prior to the 10 years as a teacher, which I'm relatively new as a teacher, has been built around creativity and technology. Whether it was the .com days of the internet when we were inventing the internet, or the broader, more popular use of the internet, or mobile development or game development, anything like that, virtual reality, and in recent years, like 2015, AI. So point number one, AI is everywhere. It is integrated into everything. When it first came out about a year and a half-ish ago, a lot of schools were like knee-jerk reaction pulling in. They were like putting up barriers and walls. You pretty much can't do that anymore because it's in Canva, it's in the Google Suite, it's in the Microsoft Office, it's in the browsers, it's in everything. Not that, I mean, before the kids could probably get around it anywhere, but now it's all built into the tools they're using. That being said, I get asked often, I just want a list of tools that I can use, that I should use. And any list that I would give you would be outdated by about 3 o'clock today. So there's not a list of tools that I can give you. Tools are coming out really fast. I was, like I said, I was through the .com era, and we had the whole Microsoft and Netscape wars. This is moving faster than that, which is kind of frightening. So there's not a list that I can give you. Things have changed over time. I used to not want to use Bard, but the new upgrade to Bard has made it where I would actually recommend Bard to be used. ChatGPT is still my go-to favorite, but I pay for the full version because I do think it's worth it. It's $20 for that. But that allows you, some people at the conference at ETC were mentioning that if you weren't using the full version, then you weren't really using ChatGPT. That's kind of hardcore, but there are things that are part of ChatGPT 4.0 that are worth $20. Instead, I use what is now Microsoft Copilot. It used to be something else, and I made it mad. I told it was wrong, because it was wrong. I wasn't being argumentative. It was wrong about what I was talking about. And I told it was wrong 3 times. It came back to me, and I kid you not, it said, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Let's talk about something else. And then it would not let me ask the question. Now, this happened because earlier, a journalist got on that same chat and said that it came in with an article that said AI insulted me and threatened me. And it did, but if you read the chat, he insulted and threatened the AI first. All right? Well, not that it's okay, but I mean, come on, if you're gonna pick a fight, finish the fight. And so Microsoft put these barriers in place. I have recently done a test with Copilot and asked it the same questions and tried to make it mad, and it didn't lock me out, so yay. But like I said, the tools are changing constantly all the time. So there's not one tool that I could possibly recommend. Now, the big thing, oh no, now the students are gonna cheat because AI just invented cheating. That's ridiculous. You'd be like, spoiler alert, kids have been cheating for a long, long time. This isn't a new thing. But what is new is the level of personalized tutoring that AI brings to the table. So now if you have a student that is expert in basketball, but seriously cannot deal with physics, you can actually have AI say, explain physics to me in terms of basketball. So we talked for years about that personalized instruction so that you can, diversify things for each student. And every teacher knows that's not, they don't have time to go to every student and do this. You can really do that now, for real. Multi-level support. We have RTIs, we have accommodations for people that have learning plans and disabilities of that nature. So if you have a passage or they're reading a book or an article and it's a too high a level for them, we have RTIs, and they should say, you're supposed to teach, or you're supposed to provide them a easier to read. Yeah, like any teacher's got time to go back and rewrite and summarize a article to a lower level so that this student can learn it. Now we can do that now. That's like really a thing. Help proofreading, absolutely. I don't think anybody typically has a problem proofreading. After all, for years, we've been using a little red squiggly line and say, oh no, that's an error. And we jump on the kids when they type things in and they still have the error. Why didn't you just look at the spell check? Brainstorming, 25 plus years as a creative professional in multiple agencies. I can say without a doubt, 100%, I have never seen a better tool that sparks and helps with creativity than AI ever. Like, it's not remotely close. I've dealt with I've worked with a lot of creative people. I'm supposed to be a creative person. I'm not creative all the time. They're not like, think of something really outside the box right now. Blue, and some days it works and some days it doesn't. This helps get around that. It really does. It's amazing. Research and fact checking. I put both of those together because it kind of is terrible at certain levels of research. It makes stuff up. Y'all know this, the AI hallucinations. So I put them together because you should teach it to students together. Sure, let AI help you research, but have it cite its sources and then you go check the sources so that you can teach 2 lessons at one time. But that being said, yeah, AI knows a lot about things. We just bought a house. It was a 1970s house. I just created a custom chat bot to help me with renovations to my 1970s house. So far, we've done plumbing, electrical, all sorts of things, and I'm still standing, which means it's spot on. Okay? It tells you if you're undoing the wires and you see aluminum inside the wire, stop and go call an expert because this is a bad thing. You need to get your house rewired. It told me that. I didn't know that. Learning languages. We have used it for learning languages for Spanish or French to help students learn conversational skills. You want to have them learn conversational skills? Awesome. Make a chat bot, make it talk Spanish, and have them just talk to it. Just have them talk to it. We did one for Spanish. We made a chat bot, persona. I think her name was Sophia. She was 16-year-old in Spain. We forgot to mention that she was bilingual, so she didn't speak a lick of English. So that was kind of a problem. That was our fault. But I had the teacher talk to her to test it out. And she was talking to her. Hi, my name is Sophia. How are you? Where are you? I'm in Spain. Cool. What things do you like? I like this, that, whatever. I like food. I like food too. Do you like Mexican food? Yes, I do like Mexican food. I like Taco Bell. The AI goes, Taco Bell's not real Mexican food. So, it's on. Data analysis. It is great for teachers and for students. AI is built around recognizing patterns and organizing data extremely fast, extremely large amounts of data extremely fast. You have the ability to upload files, whether it's spreadsheets or Word docs or PDFs, and have it analyze the data. Past life, I wrote a book, sci-fi, 400 something pages. I uploaded the book. It said it read it in 9.5 seconds. I'm like, yeah, there's no way. So I asked a question. I said, yeah, okay, fine. Who are the main characters? Not only did it list the main characters, but it listed, a summary of what each of the main characters did. Okay, fine. You probably didn't read the whole book, though. What's the story arc? And it summarized the story arc of the entire book. So I'm thinking, wow, that's pretty cool. And then I asked it a couple of really interesting questions. I said, what was the scariest part of the book? And it was spot on. I said, what was the most intense, part of the book? And it was spot on. I'll let y'all figure that one out because I'm still having it. So it also helps out teachers. You all know this, y'all are tech people, y'all seen this. Creating quizzes and tests. It's super easy. I always hated, creating the wrong answers for multiple choice tests. You know, that was always like, what's believable, what's not believable, whatever. With this, you can basically say, I want to test, if you're teaching a common subject, some of the subjects I teach are not common. I'm biology or 10th grade level, I'm teaching photosynthesis, I know. And it will create a test. So to make the teachers feel more at ease, it still does have hallucinations on this. So the teacher still has to know the content because the teacher still has to proofread the test. Teaching teachers how to prompt things correctly is incredibly critical. I am not a big fan of the all the above or none of the above answers. I really hate those. And I had it create a multiple choice, 10 questions, multiple choice, 4 answers each, 3 of them were wrong, 1 of them right, show me the right one, go. And every single one of them had at the bottom, D, all the above, or none of the above, every single one. I hate that. So I went back and I went, I really hate those answers. Please remove those. So it did exactly what I said. It gave me A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C. So you kind of have to learn to work with it. Creating rubrics, absolutely. We are an IB school, so our rubrics are incredibly specific. I simply upload the IB's PDF as to whatever the curriculum is and what it takes to create a rubric. And I've trained it on what the AI wants, what I want the AI to create for the rubric. So that's great if your schools have any kind of special requirements, you know, we're using these things or this grading scale. Let the AI know what those rules are and it will create a rubric. And again, teachers proofread what it says and make adjustments. That's my basic rule for any of the AI stuff. And none of it's supposed to be copy and paste. It's all basically a good place to get you started and then go and iterate on that, whether it's teachers or students. Creating slide presentations. There's several AI that will create the slide presentations. They kind of vary in quality. I spend insane amounts of time on my slides with the designer. But if you want something really fast and you're out of time, or you're sick and you need to create a slide presentation for the sub that's going to cover your class or whatever, they're pretty good. It's hard to say that, but they're pretty good. Summarize the YouTube videos. Did you guys know that YouTube had a show transcript feature? I didn't know that until FPTC.
Yeah.
And by using the show transcript feature that actually shows a timestamp of where everything is said, you can copy and paste that into your AI choice, Bard, ChatGPT, and then you can say, summarize this video for me. Or you can say, make a multiple choice quiz about this for me. Or you can say, make a multiple choice quiz that I can insert into Edpuzzle. So I want you to spread it throughout the entire video at equal parts and give me timestamps of where these answers are found in the video. That just saved me more time than this entire meeting will take place. Okay.
So I don't know if you're aware that Zoom has that feature. So like if you have a 2-hour Zoom
I
meeting.
did not know that. Okay, there you go.
Some friends of mine, professional friends, not teachers, they experienced it this week in some meetings and they said they watched it happen on the screen and it totally freaked them out, but it was very accurate. And it was a summary of a 2-hour meeting. And it was like you had taken the notes and didn't have to take the notes.
Right. That's great. I did not know that. Brainstorming interactive activities. Your teachers will come across things throughout the year, hard circumstances that they have to figure out things to, solutions to. And sometimes they're tricky. We lose our seniors the last month. All right, the entire last month, they're not there. And I started a project up like 3 weeks before that. So I'm like, ChatGPT, help me. I said, I've got to start a project that we can sort of finish in 3 weeks, but everybody else is going to finish in, 3 or 4 weeks after that. And through brainstorming, we totally went something. So again, it's a back and forth iteration. It's a conversation. That's what it's designed to do, and that's what it does incredibly well. Ethics and AI, the good, the bad, the algorithm. All right, so y'all know who this is, right? Who's this? Anybody? Val Kilmer, right. What is this shot from? What movie?
Top Gun.
Not Top Gun. Well, technically not Top Gun. Not Top. There you go. So this is actually from Top Gun Maverick. Val Kilmer was only in Top Gun Maverick. He's had throat cancer. So not that he can't talk, but he doesn't sound anything like Val Kilmer anymore. And that's sad. And Tom Cruise wanted him to be in Top Gun, and he talked to him, and he said, dude, I can't do it because, and he said, well, we'll see if we can't find a solution to that. So they did. They took recordings from Val Kilmer from earlier in his career. They trained an AI on it, and all the lines in Top Gun Maverick that Val Kilmer says are 100% AI generated. This is the coolest thing ever. Now he can be in the movie. He's in the movie and everything is great. James Earl Jones, by the way, has already signed off the rights to his name to train AI, but specifically only for Darth Vader. Yes, exactly. I was so happy to hear that. You have no idea. I'm like, that's awesome. What's that? Union actors striking. Down with AI. AI is bad. AI is evil. It's the exact same technology. They're striking because voice actors are now going to, and they're going to be out of job. They are. I'm not lying. I'm not fooling anybody. Neither are they. They're going to lose their job because we can now train AI on their voices, and we don't need to go to them anymore. AI typically has less than ego. But so these are the same technology. One's super awesome, and everybody thinks it's the coolest thing in the world. The other one is going bad. Bias in AI. Y'all know what AI is trained on, right?
Us.
Yeah. Trained on us. Sometimes I wish that wasn't true. Because we have biases. I've never seen a clearer example of this, a more open example, than going to Midjourney, which is a text-to-image generator, and typing in super simple prompts. Let's just say a doctor. We did this, by the way. This is our fault. So apparently, if you're white and old and really miserable, not very happy, you can be a doctor. Okay? Facts. When you type in nurse, you get that. Y'all see any commonalities with that?
Yeah.
This doesn't happen 100% of the time. This happens way more than the majority of the time. Like 85, 90% of the time, this is what you get. They're working on this. Now think about that for a second. They're working on fixing human bias. You know, that's ultimately what the issue is.
Only an AI that, not our actual guy.
Right, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, it's a strange world we live in.
But Stephen, if you put, show me images of a doctor that are diverse, I mean, it's all about the prompt shaping.
It is about the prompt shaping.
Yeah.
But they also need to be aware of this because
Yeah,
the bias
I don't
is
disagree with that.
age, race,
Right,
gender.
you can get around it by
You-
putting those factors in.
Teach them
Right,
prompt.
right.
Yeah, exactly. Better, exactly. And that's why students and teachers need to be aware of it, because they need to learn how to create prompts correctly. So what happens tomorrow? And I used to say in the future, but future sounds like 5 and 10 years in sci-fi. And that's, stop it. It's literally tomorrow. It's, the things I'm about to talk about are things that are probably most likely gonna happen this year or possibly next year. Because it just all makes sense and they're already headed that way. Number one, custom chatbots. So ChatGPT, Bard, and Copilot they all try to be very neutral. It's funny, sometimes they do. Sometimes they'll say, well, I can't give you my opinion, but if I did, my opinion would be. But they talk from as an AI, I don't have thoughts or feeling on this. And if you push that, well, give me your best guess. Then you can get them to do that. Custom chatbots typically are made to have a persona of somebody or something. We've used them in class for empathy interviews for design thinking. We don't have the luxury of contacting St. Jude's HR department to find out about what St. Jude does for kids ages 1 to 8. But we did a project based around that. So we created a custom AI that thought it was the HR person at St. Jude. Based off of all the information it knows about St. Jude, which is apparently is a lot more than I know, it talks to us exactly like a person. We had another project where students were designing new things. And one team wanted to design the problem was They had, they wanted to design electrical outlets that weren't so low to the ground so that old people didn't have to bend over so much to unplug and plug in outlets. So they wanted to be able to move the electrical outlets. So we created a senior citizen, 70 years old, retired, he lives by himself, he's independent. Like, we have a whole backstory and everything. And then we had him talk to this, we had the kids interview this AI that acted like person. Yes, facts. Kids aren't used to this either. So they rolled their eyes. They rolled their eyes. They're like, oh my God. And they started the interview, unfortunately, like they would any, they had the 3 questions, like, question number 1. And I'm like, really, seriously, that's what you're gonna do? I'm like, introduce yourself. And so we had him talk like the actual act out into the interview. And Anthony was his name. Anthony was his name. And they were talking to Anthony, the senior citizen, and they told him, they asked him about, do you hurt your back plugging things in this one? Well, sometimes I do have back problems because of my military career or whatever it was. And slowly, they started to talk to him. And they all took a step back when he asked them questions. They weren't ready for that one. Well, what do I do if I need to go across the room? Or, whatever. And so this conversation started to happen. We are a good 10 minutes into it, and they're actually starting to talk to Anthony, and they asked him, would you rather move it around, or would you rather it still be attached to the wall? Oh, keeping it mobile would be great, because I could take it to my chair, and I could do this. That would be fantastic. And then they asked a really good question. They asked Anthony, what would the disadvantage to it being mobile be? I didn't know the questions they were gonna ask. I didn't even get details about what they were inventing. I wanna be crystal clear on this. Anthony said, well, I guess one disadvantage would be that if it's mobile, I'm assuming you'd have some sort of extension cord. And extension cords can be a tripping hazard. And for somebody my age, if you fall down, you might not get back up. Their jaw hit the floor and my jaw hit the floor. I didn't tell Anthony that. I bring it out. Okay. And at the end of the interview, Anthony actually, this sounds exciting. I'd love to see it. And by this time, the students were like into it. They're like, well, how do I show it to them? I'm like, I don't know. Just talk to them. Describe it. So they described it to him in a very clunky way. So really, you're talking about a telescoping pole on like a wheel system that has extension cords. Exactly that. He said it way better than they did. But it sounds ridiculous to all of us who have not done this before. Try it. I think you'll be, if given a good prompt to create it. I've not been disappointed ever. I've been shocked and floored.
So can you elaborate though on how you do that?
Sure, so.
I've heard of people doing it, but I've never done it.
Okay, and at this point, again, constant change. A year ago, we used character AI.